Am I audible? Thank you.
A very good morning to all participants. Hello, I am audible.
Yes, sir, you're audible. We'll have a small introduction first, and then I'll start presenting your PPT. Soumya?
Hello. Good morning, sir. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Soumya from Center for Labor Laws. Without further ado, I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our speaker for this session, Mr. Sachin Kumar. Sachin sir is currently the Deputy Labour Welfare Commissioner for the Government of India. He has previously served the nation as a Labour Enforcement Officer and Assistant Labour Commissioner in the Labour Enforcement Wing over the last 13 years. He has played an active role in educating people about human rights, ADR, consumer rights, employee and employer relationship, industrial relations, etc. He would be discussing the role of government authorities in enforcement of labor and employment laws. We are honored to have you for this session, sir. Over to you.
Yeah. Today I will discuss about role of government authority in enforcing labor laws. Particularly, I have experience of enforcing labor law in the field. I am a practitioner. As we know that labor comes under concurrent list, and both central and state government enforce labor laws in their respective fields. As we know that union government is presently revising, consolidating various labor laws, and wage code, industrial relation code, social security code, occupational safety code has already been made, and there is a process of rules framing, and we will hope that it will come into force from 1 April 2021. As we see in the slide, there are various labor law provision regarding trade union, industrial labor dispute, social security, welfare of labor, including condition of work.
Sir, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but could you please just adjust your camera a little bit? We cannot see you.
I have started camera.
Sir, actually, your video is not clear. All right, sir, we are good to go.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
as we know that central government and state government both are enforcing labor laws, implementing labor laws in respective fields. So basically, central government is implementing labor laws in the central sphere. Central sphere means central public sector unit, railway, mines, oil field, air transport service. In this area, central government is enforcing labor laws. And the state government is implementing labor laws in the area of private sectors, agriculture, shops and establishment, etc. And central government, there are many labor enforcement agencies under the central government, like Employee Provident Fund Organization, which is implementing EPFO schemes, Employee State Insurance Corporation, which is implementing health and medical insurance schemes, Director General of Mine Safety, which ensures safety of mines worker. Director General Mine Safety headquarters is at Dhanbad. There is one agency also, Director General Factory Advice and Labor Inspector, This institution is mainly providing training to factory inspectorate for the safety provision under various safety safety sectors. Now we are discussing now we first discuss EPFO. The EPFO Act came into existence in 1952, and the EPFO main work is to provide social security to the worker, and it gives lump sum amount to the worker at the time of retirement, for which employer and employee both has to give 12% of their wages or salary. EPFO is also providing a insurance of 7 lakh or 30 month wages to those employee who died in any accident or in any mishappening. EPFO also provides pension scheme. As you know about EPS scheme 1995, in which 1,000 monthly pension is given to any of the worker, and it will be greater than 1,000, but minimum 1,000 is fixed under EPF Act. And thereafter we will discuss about Employee State Insurance Corporation. 1 minute. Okay. ESIC is basically providing medical and health insurance to the worker. And both EPFO and ESIC headquarters is at New Delhi. EPFO is headed by Central Provident Fund Commissioner and assisted by various Additional Provident Fund Commissioner, Regional Provident Fund Commissioner, Assistant Provident Fund Commissioner, etc. ESIC is headed by Director General and assisted by various regional additional director, deputy director, assistant director. The EPFO and ESIC basically implement various social security schemes, and these social security schemes are applicable in both the central government jurisdiction and state government jurisdiction. There is no any difference in implementing social security scheme, state jurisdiction and central jurisdiction. But the difference is Minimum Wages Act, Payment of Wages Act, Contract Labor Act. Here both central and state, both are implementing these laws in their area. As we are in the central government, and I have also experience in the working of labor enforcement officer, in which we inspect the establishment under Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act, Contract Labor Act, Interstate Migrant Workmen Act. What we does, we go to the establishment and check their register and record where they paid worker timely or not, where they are paying minimum wages or not, where there is any illegal deduction of wages or not. As you know that worker has to pay within 7 days or within 10 days in the case of as per strength of the organization. Under Contract Labor Act, there is various provision like employer have to ensure canteen facility if 100 workers are engaged there. Employer have to ensure restroom facility. Employer have to ensure first aid box. Employer have to ensure latrine urinal facility. So drinking water facility. These are facilities which has to be provided by the employer. If they are not providing, the inspector under the act will check and file prosecution before a court of law. We focus mainly on labor inspectorate wing and labor commissioner wing. What does they do, as our topic is responsibility of government employee, government officer regarding implementation of labor law. As we know that labor commissioner wing main work is to avoid the strike and lockout in the industry. We have to stop lockout and strike. If अगर हमको कोई ऐसा अंदेशा होता है कि कहीं स्ट्राइक और लॉकआउट होने वाला है, तो हम उसमें हस्तक्षेप करते हैं. We will issue notice to employer regarding not to go for lockout and worker to not to proceed a strike. We will mediate between employer and trade union and try to solve the matter, try to mediate between them and try to find out the amicable solution which is beneficial, which is win-win situation for both the parties. So our role is as a conciliator, as a mediator under Industrial Dispute Act. When we are not able to decide the matter, we will send the matter to Central Government Industrial Tribunal, and the labor officer which are working in the state government send the matter to labor court in their respective state government jurisdiction. As we discuss, state government of Madhya Pradesh. State government of Madhya Pradesh, labor ministry, labor enforcement wing is headed by labor commissioner, which is mostly NIS officer, and he is assisted by various additional labor commissioner, deputy labor commissioner, assistant labor commissioner, and labor officer, senior labor officer. Nowadays, in a state government, mainly labor officers are implementing building and other construction welfare scheme. There are many facilities provided to building worker, construction worker. There are many welfare schemes, and they are implementing these schemes in the state jurisdiction, in the state government of. Now we move to next slide. Move to next slide. As we know that presently ESIC scheme is applicable to the establishment where 10 or more than 10 workers are engaged. And presently the scheme limitation is 21,000 per month salary. If any employee is receiving 21,000 salary, he is eligible for ESIC scheme. And now in the Social Security Code, there is new changes which is likely to be implemented from 1 April. ESIC scheme को मैंडेटरी बनाया गया है. जहां खतरा ज्यादा है, जहां एक ही वर्कर काम करते हैं, वहां ESIC स्कीम को मैंडेटरी बनाया गया है. And dock and mines में where one worker are engaged, ESIC scheme is compulsory. And EPFO scheme also become mandatory in new Social Security Code. No, voluntary where one worker or two worker, if employer is interested कि उनका वर्कर को मिले, तो वो EPF को ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. अगर 10 वर्कर या 10 से ज्यादा वर्कर है और 15,000 का है, तो वहां मैंडेटरी है. और जहां एक ही वर्कर है और वॉलंटरी बेसिस पर एम्प्लॉयर तैयार है, वहां के जो वर्कर हैं वो ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं. तो ये EPF एक्ट में चेंज कर दिया गया है. और ESIC एक्ट में ऐसा है कि ये हैजार्डस में ये सब जगह लागू होगा. And now ESIC and EPFO Act is applicable all over the India. Previously, they are only applicable to the scheduled employment, to the specific area. But now, in the new code, new Social Security Code, they are implemented all over the country. This is a new change. And interstate migrant workmen, there is also a very change has made in the new code, Occupational Safety Health Code. Now, all the worker which comes from other state is interstate migrant workmen. Previously, हम लोग पहले प्रूफ नहीं कर पाते थे कि कौन हु इज इंटरस्टेट माइग्रेंट वर्कमैन, क्योंकि प्रीवियसली डिफिनीशन इज जो कॉन्ट्रैक्टर जिसको लाया है वो इंटरस्टेट माइग्रेंट वर्कमैन है. बट नाउ इंटरस्टेट माइग्रेंट definition is changed, and now any person comes from another state is interstate migrant workman, and employer has to give traveling allowance once a year to interstate migrant workmen. This is new provision under the Occupational Safety Health Code. And also there is one provision regarding interstate migrant workmen. If any worker is getting less than 18,000, he is interstate migrant worker. So we also discuss some new provision regarding implementation of labor laws, which is likely to be applicable from 1 April 2021. Now we move next slide. Next slide, madam. We also work under Labor Commissionerate wing, the Chief Labor Commissioner. The Chief Labor Commissioner is doing the same work as the Labor Commissioner doing the work in the state sphere. We ensure payment of minimum wages, we ensure payment of wages on time, we ensure safety, health, welfare, provision of contract labor, building worker. We ensure trade union member verification, which union is recognized, which union or association has को ILO में भेजना है, ट्रिपार्टाइट कमेटी में किसको पार्टिसिपेशन देना है, मिनिस्ट्री के साथ कौन पार्टिसिपेशन करेगा, मिनिस्ट्री के साथ कौन लेबर यूनियन बात करेगा, किस लेबर यूनियन को JCM में रखना है. तो उसके लिए we conduct membership of verification of trade union. We also inquire any labor complaint which is received from time to time. And we also function as a quasi-judicial authority under various labor acts. Like Minimum Wage Act, when we receive any complaint regarding less payment, is ESIC compulsory. When we receive any complaint regarding less payment, हम दोनों पार्टी को नोटिस देके बुलाते हैं. We call both party and we fulfill all the condition of principle of natural justice. And after giving opportunity to both the party, we will decide the case under Minimum Wage Act, Payment of Wages Act. There is penalty of 10 times under Minimum Wage Act and Payment of Wages Act. Recently, government has changed Minimum Wage Act provision and Payment of Wages Act provision. Now, Minimum Wage Act is implementing universally. Presently, it is applicable in a specific sector, but now government has made Minimum Wage Act implementation universally, and also Payment of Wages Act has also been made applicable universally. Presently, it is made to certain. It is applicable to certain sector like railway, mines, air traffic service, and some specific area in the state government. But now it is applicable to all the sector, and there is no any minimum wages cap. As presently, Payment of Wages Act 24,000 is the maximum cap under which employee can avail the facility of minimum payment of wages and those employees who are getting more than 24,000, they cannot make complaint before labor commissioner. But now all employees, all workmen can file their case before labor commissioner regarding late payment, delayed payment, illegal deduction, and अगर उनको कम पैसा मिलता है तो वो डायरेक्ट लेबर कमिश्नर के यहाँ अब शिकायत कर सकते हैं। और उनको ये जो नया वेज कोड है उसमें गवर्नमेंट हैज आल्सो गिवन पावर डायरेक्ट टू कंसर्न एम्प्लॉय एंड ट्रेड यूनियन। दे कैन आल्सो फाइल कंप्लेंट बिफोर मजिस्ट्रेट रिगार्डिंग नॉन पेमेंट ऑफ वेजेस, रिगार्डिंग लेस पेमेंट ऑफ वेजेस। इट इज द फर्स्ट टाइम कि वर्कर हैज बीन गिवन पावर टू फाइल case directly to the magistrate. Previously, this provision is not in existence, and now worker has been given more power regarding minimum wages act, payment of wages act, and payment of bonus act and equal remuneration act. These four codes are called presently wage code. Next slide. Chief Labor Commissioner Central Organization has 20 regional offices. In Madhya Pradesh, Deputy Chief Labor Commissioner Central Jabalpur is heading the organization. Presently, Mr. Sudhir Kumar is Deputy Chief Labor Commissioner Jabalpur, and also there is one office in Bhopal, Regional Labor Commissioner Bhopal. And there are 20 offices all over the India, and all big state has one deputy chief labor commissioner, regional labor commissioner, and 2 or 3 assistant labor commissioner in each state, and they are implementing labor laws in the central sphere. In the state sphere, labor commissioner, mostly labor commissioner belong to IS officer, and he is assisted by a state labor officer like additional labor commissioner, deputy labor commissioner, assistant labor commissioner, and labor officer. They are conducting routine inspection. They are conducting routine check of register record where laborers are getting minimum wages or not, where workers are getting social security scheme or not, where workers are getting welfare facility or not, and if they found there is if अगर कोई wrong पाया जाता है, कोई अगर एस्टेब्लिशमेंट वायलेट अगर लॉ को करता है तो उनको कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ के सामने लेबर इंस्पेक्टर उनको कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ के सामने खड़ा करता है। तो लेबर कमिश्नरेट विंग का मेन काम है कि लेबर लॉ को इन्फोर्स करना, लेबर लॉ को इंप्लीमेंट करना, लेबर लॉ को इंश्योर कराना कि वर्कर का राइट उसको वर्कर को मिले। बट देयर इज लिमिटेशन ऑफ लेबर डिपार्टमेंट ऑल्सो, because the topic is also related to some challenge. The number of labor officials is not enough to cover all the area. The economy has हमारा देश का बहुत विकास हुआ है। 1947 से देश में हर एक एरिया में डेवलपमेंट हुआ है और इकोनॉमी के हर एक क्षेत्र में एक्सपेंशन हुआ है, लेकिन लेबर डिपार्टमेंट का साइज वही है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का अभाव है, तो सब जगह हम पहुंच नहीं सकते हैं। वी कैनॉट रीच टू ईच एंड एवरी प्लेस। So there is need of legal awareness among workers. There is need of legal knowledge for trade union. There is need of ताकि वो अपना अधिकार अपने जान सके और अपना अधिकार अपने कानून के अंदर में ले सके और अपना अधिकार के लिए अप्रोच कर सके। तो now move on next slide. As we discussed, the work of labor commissioner is prevention and settlement of industrial disputes through conciliation and mediation, enforcement of labor laws, quasi-judicial function. Because we hear cases under payment of gratuity act. As I have worked Assistant Labor Commissioner Center in Allahabad. There were many cases before me under payment of gratuity act. More than 500 cases were disposed by me as a Assistant Labor Commissioner Central. So we will call both party and advocate appear in this case, in this case. क्योंकि इलाहाबाद में एडवोकेट लोग आते थे, एम्प्लॉयर के भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव रहते थे और एम्प्लॉय के भी रिप्रेजेंटेटिव रहते थे. As we know that Gratuity Act is applicable to all the sectors where 10 or more than 10 workers are engaged. And the maximum payment limit of Gratuity Act is 20 lakh rupees. And if any employee paid gratuity lately, so we will give, as per rules, there is provision of 10% interest given to the concerned employee if there is late payment of gratuity. And Gratuity Act is applicable to both managerial or workmen, both class. So we have disposed large number of cases under payment of Gratuity Act. And also, as we have already told that quasi-judicial functions, Labor Commissioner acts quasi-judicial function under Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act, and advocate also appear before them in Payment of Wages Act and Minimum Wages Act, and they represent either employee side or worker side in the case related to Payment of Wages and Minimum Wages Act. So main role of Labor Commissioner being is also intervention, mediation and conciliation in industrial dispute, implementation of settlement and award. We try to best to make a situation which is friendly to both employer and employee, the situation which is win-win situation for both employer and employee. और ऐसा हम लोग सेटलमेंट करना चाहते हैं कि दोनों के लिए उपयोगी हो, दोनों के लिए फायदा हो. And if we are not able to settle the issue, we will send the matter to Industrial Tribunal for adjudication. Currently, government has changed also Industrial Relation Code. In the Industrial Relation Code, government has one change. Central Government Industrial Tribunal will be now heading by two person, one judicial member and another administrative member. Now move next slide. Role of Labor Commissioner, as we already discussed about this, is to inquire about the complaint and sort out the problem, to decide the matter related to Payment of Gratuity Act. We have already discussed. To conciliate between the worker and the management, to decide the dispute of late payment, delayed payment, deduction of wages and bonus, etc. If there is any dispute regarding bonus payment, we also refer the matter to CGIT. If we don't able to mediate between the right proportion of bonus, then the matter will go to Labor Court, and Labor Court will decide which percentage bonus is given to worker. Next, move to next slide. Challenge before Labor Authority: lack of awareness. Worker even not know the address of employer. Worker does not know whereabouts his employer. Who is his employer? They don't know. They even submit complaint without any sign, without any signature. They just file complaint. Worker also does not know who is their actual employer. Worker also does not know the address of establishment. Sometimes he informs about the petty contractor, subcontractor regarding his employer, and therefore enforcement agency is not able to take legal action because they are the not real employer. Their name is not with principal employer, and therefore government officials are in great difficulty to deal with such case. Now, as we know that government is moving towards technological upgradation, there is a term of technology adaptability. We have to learn new technology. Under labor code also there is provision of Shram Suvidha portal. All the license, registration, return will be filed on Shram Suvidha portal. Therefore, labor commissioner, labor inspector have also to learn new technology-based system. Now government has also made, central government has also made Samadhan portal. Worker has to, trade union has to lodge complaint through Samadhan portal. Therefore, we all have to improve ourselves in the technology area. And this is challenge, and all the officers are learning technology because there is no exception of technology, and we cannot move ahead without the support of technology. And there is also provision of maintenance of electronic register. Now under new codes, only there are 2 registers and 1 return under wage code. The number of registers has been decreased under all the labor codes. The new area of working is emerging day by day, and a new form of employment is creating. Economic activity has increased manifold. As some participants discussing about gig worker and platform worker. Who are gig worker? They are temporary worker who has been engaged only for 2 or 3 work in a day, 2 or 3 hours in a day, or engaged for a particular project, are gig worker. Only they are engaged for a specific period, for a specific work. And platform worker like Uber, Ola, Swiggy, and other, because they are Uber, Ola, they call them worker as a partner. Amazon delivery boy as a partner, and they don't recruit them on their role, and they recruit them through third party. And they, because as we know that there is only they providing technical support to them, like Uber or Ola, they give them which customer is calling you, which customer is demanding your service, and they charge 25% of total income. The new kind of employment is emerging day by day, and now home-based worker, home-based employee, work from home. So these are the new sector where presently there is no any law, but under social security there is mention of gig worker and platform worker. Government of India has made also going to make some social security provision to both gig and platform worker and unorganized worker also. One topic I like to discuss with you, that there is limitation of labor law, as EPF Act is applicable where 20 or more than 20 people employees are working. ESIC Act is applicable where 10 or more than 10 workers are engaged. Minimum Wages Act, there is no any threshold of worker. Payment of Wages Act, there is no threshold of worker. Contract Labor Act, presently there is need of labor license where 20 or more than 20 workers are engaged. And interstate migrant worker, 5 workmen threshold presently is. But government has changed the threshold limit under Occupational Safety Health Code. Now, each and every establishment has to take registration which is going to hire 10 or more than 10 workers. Under Occupational Safety Health Code, 13 labor acts are subsumed in this code, and उसी को दे दिए हैं. And they have, and government has now made also a provision regarding giving appointment letter to each and every employee under the Occupational Safety Health Code. Presently, workman has no any proof regarding which employer they work, on which condition they are working. But now employer has to give appointment letter. When this code comes into existence, if any employee has not been received, employer has to give them appointment letter within 60 days. Also, there is a new provision incorporated in Occupational Safety Health Code. Medical health checkup of every employee where the age of employee is over 45, employer has to check annual health checkup to every employee engaged by him or engaged by him. मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन को मैंडेटरी बनाया गया है नया कोड में कि आपको साल में एक बार मेडिकल एग्जामिनेशन करना ही करना है और अपॉइंटमेंट लेटर देना ही है. और वीमेन एम्प्लॉय के लिए अगर उनको रात में काम करना है तो 6 PM से 7 AM तक अगर काम कराते हैं तो एम्प्लॉयर हैज टू टेक कंसेंट फ्रॉम वीमेन एम्प्लॉयर रिगार्डिंग नाइट शिफ्ट वर्क. And employer has also to provide convenience facility to women employees. These are the facilities incorporated in Occupational Safety Health Code. Presently, women are not allowed in mines sector. So women have given their representation. We have done BTech mining course from ISM Dhanbad. And we are not recruited in mine sector. So now women are also allowed in mine sector employment. Next slide. As we have already discussed that central government is enforcing labor laws in railway, mines, bank, insurance, major port, cantonment board, ONGC, Indian Oil, BPCL, HPCL, FCI, banks, private banks, private telecom, central government is implementing labor laws in this area. But all the private sector comes under the state government. All the shops comes under the state government. All the जहाँ ईट बनता है, all the dhaba, hotel, restaurant, all comes under the state government. A labor official belong to a state government are implementing labor laws there. And there recently there is also a change. Discretionary power of inspector has been taken. Now there is bay-based inspection. Establishment name is chosen by random based. There is no discretion of inspector to come to any establishment and check. If there is any complaint, we have to take approval from Central Intelligence Unit. We have to take approval from the highest authority. If we have received complaint, and there is also provision of inspection if we have received complaint with proof evidence, higher officer allow inspection in this case, but discretionary power has been taken, and in central government there is already system of web-based inspection, and in new code also there is provision of web-based inspection. So these are the changes and challenges before the officer, but all officers are doing and adopting technology. All officers are learning new things. Next slide. Name of the enactment enforcement in central sphere. We are enforcing these acts in the central sphere. As we have already discussed about this, that how we are implementing these acts in the central sphere. Basically, main contract labor act. Now हम आपका सुन रहे थे जो मैडम ले रही थी खेतान का, ये कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर को बांटा गया है अंडर ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी हेल्थ कोड, बोथ कोर एरिया एंड नॉन कोर एरिया. अगर इंप्लायर के लिए वो, जैसे कि अगर डिफेंस इंडस्ट्री है तो यहाँ बम बनाना या जो हथियार बनाना मेन वर्क है, तो इस एरिया में वी कैनॉट engage contract labor, but we engage contract labor in the hospital area, we engage contract labor in the gardening, housekeeping, we engage contract labor for security guard, we engage contract labor for construction work, repair work, maintenance work, but we cannot engage contract work in manufacturing work. Like university, we cannot engage as under this occupational safety health code. University engage contract labor in the area of gardening, housekeeping, security, maintenance, but not to take main area like teaching, but teachers are also hired through contract. But occupational safety health code is not universally applicable, because it is basically for worker class, and 18,000 is salary cap provided in new code. Presently, contract labor are hired in all the area, but there is some limitation under Contract Labor Act. We cannot hire them in core area, but in real practice they are hired. So under Occupational Safety Health Code, there is division of core area and non-core area. Contract labor has to be hired only in non-core area. And also there is new provision under these codes is fixed term employment. Now there is new concept of fixed term employment. When we engage any employee on fixed term, they are entitled to all the salary, all the facilities which are given to regular employee. अगर FTE पर कोई है तो उसको ग्रेच्युटी भी देना है, अगर वो 1 साल से ज्यादा काम किया है, प्लस में उसको सारे प्रोविजन जो रेगुलर एम्प्लॉय को मिलते हैं वो सारे प्रोविजन का फायदा उसको फिक्स टर्म एम्प्लॉय को मिलेगा. ये नया जो इंडस्ट्रियल रिलेशन कोड है उसमें ये बनाया गया है. We have already discussed about wage code, which is universally applicable to all the employees, where the employee related to managerial or executive category. If there is any complaint of less payment, delayed payment, or deduction in wages or salary, they may go to labor commissioner, they may directly go to judicial magistrate. So this wage code is applicable universally, but all the code has some threshold. Like occupational safety health code is applicable where 10 or more than 10 workers are employed. Social security code, there is some threshold regarding EPF, regarding ESIC. 20 worker threshold is for EPF, 10 worker threshold is for ESIC. Now Factory Act, if there is 20 worker with power or 40 worker without power, the concerned factory has to take labor license, take factory license. So there is some threshold under all the act, excluding wage code, and we are implementing these 14 acts in central affair. Next slide. What CLC? CLC is the head of the organization in the central sphere, like labor commissioner in the state government. CLC has power regarding superintendence and supervising all the regional offices. And CLC is also declared Director General under BOCW Act. Deputy CLC in the which are posted in the respective state are the appellate authority under Standing Order Act. RLC, Regional Labour Commissioner, is authority under Payment of Wages Act, Minimum Wages Act. Presently, Deputy CLC is appellate authority under Payment of Gratuity Act. Assistant Labour Commissioner is controlling authority under Payment of Gratuity Act. So these are the function of the authorities working in the central government. But state government also the same function are carried by Labour Commissioner, Assistant Labour Commissioner, Deputy Labour Commissioner, and Additional Labour Commissioner, which are posted in the state government Ministry of Labour. They are also doing the same work, but their nomenclature is little bit different from the central government authority. Next slide. As we already know that recently Government of India has amalgamated labor laws. 44 labor code are subsumed into 4 code. As we know that 4 labor code are subsumed in wage code, 13 labor act subsumed in OSH code, 9 labor act are subsumed in social security code, and 3 labor act are subsumed in industrial relation code. Now one thing is the Industrial Standing Order Act is applicable now in new code 300, where 300 or more worker is engaged. Therefore, in the area of labor and employment law, the management has to frame employee contract in detail, because now there is a more value of employee contract between the employee and the concerned establishment, because the threshold of standing order is increased up to 300 workers. Therefore, if we are engaging 10 workers, 13 workers, if we are engaging data entry operator in university, तो डाटा एंट्री ऑपरेटर यूनिवर्सिटी में अगर हम इंगेज करते हैं तो हम टर्म एंड कंडीशन यूनिवर्सिटी विल डिसाइड, क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट टर्म एंड कंडीशन के लिए 300 वर्कर तो यूनिवर्सिटी में है ही, तो वो तो अप्लीकेबल हो जाए स्टैंडिंग ऑर्डर है। लेकिन अगर छोटा जगह है, छोटा एस्टेब्लिशमेंट है, तो दे हैव टू फ्रेम देयर एम्प्लॉयमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट देमसेल्व्स, एंड गवर्नमेंट इज आल्सो फ्रेमिंग मॉडल स्टैंडिंग ऑर्डर, model standing order which the concerned establishment वो डायरेक्टली उसको यूज कर सकते हैं, उनको कोई बनाने का जरूरत नहीं है, वो डायरेक्टली यूज कर सकते हैं। तो ये सब जो गवर्नमेंट ने न्यू कोड बनाए हैं, ये 1 अप्रैल 2021 से लागू होने का है। कोड हैज ऑलरेडी बीन फ्रेम्ड बट रूल्स इज नॉट फ्रेम्ड येट, रूल्स बनाने की प्रक्रिया चल रही है। तो ये जो लेबर लॉ है, इसमें सिंप्लीफिकेशन, कोडिफिकेशन, अमलागमेशन ये जो किया गया है, तो इसमें 2 लेबर एक्ट को छोड़ दिया गया, जो चाइल्ड लेबर एक्ट है और एक है आपका बॉन्डेड लेबर एक्ट, ये 2 एक्ट को छोड़ के बाद बाकी एक्ट को कंसोलिडेट किया गया न्यू कोड, न्यू वेजेस कोड। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। We have already discussed about wage code. Okay, the code consolidates the 13 labor law, and these 13 labor law are under occupational safety health code, which is applicable to each and every establishment where 10 or more than 10 workers are engaged. There is some special provision regarding working journalist. Working journalist has been given payment of gratuity facility if they are only engaged in 3 years, and all other sector imply eligibility of 5-year service for payment of gratuity. Next slide. The Code on Social Security is subsumed in subsumed 9 Labor Acts, which we already discussed. The Code on Industrial Relations subsumed 3 Labor Act, which we already discussed. And as we discussed, key labor authority are also functioning under state government. Factory Act is only enforced and implemented by concerned state government. There is government of India is also guiding in the area of Factory Act implementation. The state government is the sole authority for enforcing Factory Act. As we know, as we see in the slide, the Labor Department MCT of Delhi has headed by Secretary cum Labor Commissioner, and they are assisted by a Special Labor Commissioner, Joint Labor Commissioner, Deputy Labor Commissioner, Assistant Labor Commissioner, and districts are headed by Joint and Deputy Labor Commissioner, and they are implementing labor laws and welfare scheme in the state area. And we have already discussed now state government machinery is more engaged in building and other construction work, welfare, cess facility. They are collecting cess, 1% cess on every construction worker, and they are very much engaged. And respective state government has framed many welfare schemes for working class. The construction worker which have worked 90 days are eligible for the various welfare schemes under Building and Other Construction Welfare Board. But Honorable High Court and Supreme Court has made certain observations regarding not reaching these welfare schemes to the building worker actually. So these are the gray area which Labor Department has to look into. Any question regarding role of government authority?
Yes, sir. Ronak from our team will ask some questions. Ronak?
Yes, sir. So good afternoon, sir. Sir, मेरा एक सवाल था. Sir, usually we see that जो labor laws है, वो organized sector के जो companies है, वो better तरीके से implement कर पाते हैं. Sir, my question is कि government ऐसे क्या measures ले रही है, क्या ऐसे role perform कर रही है जिससे जो unorganized sector की companies है, वो भी labor laws के coverage में आ सके.
देखिए, लेबर लॉज जैसे मिनिमम वेजेज एक्ट है, तो मिनिमम वेजेज एक्ट जिसमें मजदूरी का क्राइटेरिया फिक्स है कि आपको इतना मजदूरी देना है, वो सभी अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर पर लागू है. पेमेंट ऑफ वेजेज एक्ट जो टाइमली पेमेंट करना है, वो सभी अनऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर पर लागू है. और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ने सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड के अंदर और ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के लिए एक स्कीम लेके आ रही है ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर के वर्कर के लिए. तो कुछ एक्ट जो है वो ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर पर लागू है, जैसे कि आप हर एक एम्प्लॉयमेंट के लिए मिनिमम वेजेज फिक्स है. लेकिन क्या है कि ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में अवेयरनेस का अभाव है. वर्कर अपना अधिकार नहीं जानते हैं, वर्कर अपने एम्प्लॉयर को नहीं जानते हैं कि कौन उनका एक्चुअल एम्प्लॉयर है. वर्कर कहाँ काम कर रहे हैं वहां का एड्रेस नहीं जानते हैं. वर्कर शिकायत दाखिल करते हैं, उसमें अपना सिग्नेचर नहीं करते हैं. उनको क्या है ना, कॉन्फिडेंस का कमी है, और ये सही भी बात है कि वो हटा दिए जाते हैं, दे आर टर्मिनेटेड if they file complaint before the government officer. Therefore, they have hesitance to file complaint. But जो जो एजुकेशन बढ़ेगा, लीगल अवेयरनेस बढ़ेगी, वो आगे आएंगे और ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में भी लोग अपना अधिकार लेंगे।
Right, sir. Thank you so much.
जी। Or any question regarding implementation or any power of government officer, government labor officer?
Sir, good afternoon, sir. Sir,
हाँ,
I have a question. सर, उसमें मतलब ऐसा है कि एक बार मैंने एक मैटर देखा था बॉन्डेड लेबर एक्ट से रिलेटेड
जी
उसमें, और उसके बाद फिर ये जो नए कोड्स आए हैं इनको भी हमने जब स्टडी किया था तो इसमें हमने एक चीज पाई कि सेकंड एपिलेट अथॉरिटी का कोई जिक्र नहीं किया गया है इन कोड्स में। मतलब सेकंड अपील कहाँ जाएगा आफ्टर फ्रॉम से।
आपको बता रहे हैं कि ये जो रूल्स फ्रेम हो रहा है, जैसे मिनिमम वेज एक्ट में हमारे यहाँ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में रीजनल लेबर कमिश्नर वो सुनेंगे केसेस को, और उनका अपीलेट डिप्टी चीफ लेबर कमिश्नर को बनाया गया है। तो ऐसे ही स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में अगर एएलसी सुनेंगे केस को तो उनका अपीलेट अथॉरिटी डिप्टी लेबर कमिश्नर होंगे, और फिर उनका अपील हाई कोर्ट में हो सकेगा। अगर एम्प्लॉयर या वो कंसर्न वर्कमैन अगर उनके निर्णय से संतुष्ट नहीं है तो वो हाई कोर्ट में फिर अपील करेंगे। तो रूल फ्रेम होगा तो उसमें क्लियर हो जाएगा।
थैंक यू सर।
Sir, Nishi has a question.
जी जी।
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, some questions from our participant side कि बहुत सारे लोग लेबर एनफोर्समेंट अथॉरिटीज में कैरियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज के लिए इंटरेस्टेड है। सो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ एग्जाम्स डू वी हैव टू क्लियर कि हम उन सर्विसेज को ज्वाइन कर सके? अगर आप हम सबको ऐसे ब्रीफ कर सकते हैं तो थैंक यू।
स्टेट गवर्नमेंट में लेबर ऑफिशियल बहाल होते हैं स्टेट सर्विस कमीशन से, एमपीएससी, बीपीएससी और उत्तर प्रदेश पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन। वहाँ केवल ग्रेजुएशन, केवल एलिजिबिलिटी है। लेकिन सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में जैसे हम लोग हैं, हम 2012-13 के सेंट्रल लेबर सर्विस ऑफिसर है ग्रुप ए। तो हमारे यहाँ जो ग्रुप ए ऑफिसर का बहाली होता है उसमें हमारे यहाँ सोशल वर्क, लेबर वेलफेयर, सोशल वेलफेयर और लेबर लॉ में डिप्लोमा का जरूरत है, और एलएलबी डिजायरेबल क्वालिफिकेशन है। लेकिन अगर यूपीएससी में हमारे 1/3 लोग एलएलबी किए हुए हैं, लेकिन जो असिस्टेंट लेबर कमिश्नर की वैकेंसी निकलती है उसमें आप अगर एलएलबी में आपका लेबर लॉ एक पेपर है तो यूपीएससी उसको भी कंसीडर करती है लेबर लॉ में डिप्लोमा। और वो हमारे यहाँ अब नया जो लड़का आए हैं नया बैच के, उसमें 50% आपका ये वो एलएलबी है। तो यूपीएससी जो बहाल करती है वो स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट एक लेती है, उसमें ऑब्जेक्टिव टाइप का क्वेश्चन रहता है 100, और ऑब्जेक्टिव वो क्वेश्चन आप वो उसमें स्क्रीनिंग टेस्ट में पास कर जाइएगा तो यूपीएससी इंटरव्यू लेती है। तो जो सेंट्रल लेबर सर्विस है, जिस सर्विस के हम लोग हैं, उसमें आप इसके थ्रू आ सकते हैं। और इसके बाद हमारे यहाँ ग्रुप बी ऑफिसर का बहाल होता है, लेबर इन्फोर्समेंट ऑफिसर, वेलफेयर एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर, वहाँ भी लोग आते हैं, वहाँ भी बहुत। और जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट में असिस्टेंट प्रोविडेंट फंड कमिश्नर है ईपीएफओ में, और ईएसआईसी में डिप्टी डायरेक्टर है, असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर है, तो वहाँ ग्रेजुएट है योग्यता। लेकिन जो लॉ ग्रेजुएट हैं दे आर प्रीफर्ड इन इंटरव्यू। लेकिन हमारे यहाँ डिजायरेबल क्वालिफिकेशन भी है, और हमारे यहाँ एलएलबी विथ लेबर लॉ वन ऑफ द पेपर इज ऑल्सो वन ऑफ द क्राइटेरिया ऑफ इसेंशियल क्वालिफिकेशन। जैसे लिखता है डिप्लोमा इन लेबर लॉ, लेकिन आप अगर एलएलबी विथ लेबर लॉ पेपर किए हुए हैं तो आप असिस्टेंट लेबर कमिश्नर जो यूपीएससी से निकलता है आप भर सकते हैं। जी
थैंक यू सो मच सर।
सर और एक क्वेश्चन है फ्रॉम वन ऑफ आवर पार्टिसिपेंट्स।
जी
सर उनका क्वेश्चन है कि जो एम्प्लॉयज स्टेट इंश्योरेंस स्कीम ऑफ इंडिया है ईएसआईसी,
जी
सो विल दैट वो जो पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिवर्सिटी जैसे कोल इंडिया उन सब में वो कंपलसरी है उस स्कीम का लागू होना?
जी क्या जो एम्प्लॉई स्टेट इंश्योरेंस कॉर्पोरेशन जो है वो 21,000 का सैलरी कैप है, और 10 इम्प्लाई जहां वर्क करते हैं। तो ये कॉन्ट्रेक्चुअल अगर वो संस्थान में ESIC स्कीम जो है वो कंपलसरी है, और नया कोड में तो सब जगह कंपलसरी कर दिया गया। तो अब
पब्लिक प्राइवेट को भी इंक्लूड करके इट इज कंपलसरी।
नहीं, अब सब जगह का ये तो नया कोड में अभी भी है कंपलसरी, लेकिन अभी क्या है कि शेड्यूल एरिया डिफाइंड है। जहां ESIC का हॉस्पिटल है वहीं वो एप्लीकेबल है, जहां ESIC का हॉस्पिटल एंड सर्विस नहीं है वहां अभी एप्लीकेबल नहीं है। लेकिन जो नया सोशल सिक्योरिटी कोड बना है उसमें इसको सब जगह इंप्लीमेंट कर दिया गया, सब जगह ये लागू कर दिया गया।
ओके सर, फाइन, थैंक यू।
और एनी क्वेश्चन रिगार्डिंग गवर्नमेंट ऑफिसर?
Hello.
जी,
Good afternoon, sir. I have a question. Sir, with regard to the code on wages, sir, the definition of wage, sir, actually, I feel there's a lot of ambiguity in the code on wages. Can you please tell me how this code on wages definition, the wage definition, will be operational across India?
देखिए वेज कोड में देयर इज इंक्लूजन ऑफ wages plus dearness allowance plus retaining allowance. Retaining allowance is only applicable in certain seasonal sector like चीनी इंडस्ट्री में, शुगर इंडस्ट्री में। इसमें वेजेज में है कि 50%, जैसे आप बता रहे हैं कि 50% आप जो है अलाउंसेज का आप 50% से ज़्यादा अलाउंसेज नहीं रख सकते हैं EPF और ESIC और ग्रेच्युटी के लिए कैलकुलेशन के लिए। तो उसमें अभी एम्प्लॉयर साइड से भी रिप्रेजेंटेशन मिनिस्ट्री को गया है और एम्प्लॉय साइड से भी गया है। तो उसको अभी रूल्स बनेगा तो उसमें क्लियर होगा। अभी रूल्स बनने के लिए इंतजार कीजिए, उसमें और क्लियरिटी आएगी उसमें, क्योंकि रूल्स जब तक नहीं बनता है तब तक आप फाइनली उस पर कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। जी,
I think we are done with the questions. So that was indeed a very informative session, sir. We are sure that the participants got an interesting insight into the structure of the government machinery responsible for enforcement of labor laws in the country. I would like to thank you on behalf of the Center for Labor Laws for taking out time from your busy schedule for sharing your knowledge with us. So thank you very much, sir.
आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। देखिए हम क्या है कि हिंदी एनवायरमेंट में सब दिन काम किए हैं, इसलिए हमारा क्या है कि इंग्लिश में वो फ्लुएंसी नहीं है, बट कि हमको मौका भी नहीं मिलता है इंग्लिश में बोलने का कहीं। ठीक है, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, और आपके उज्जवल करियर के लिए हम ईश्वर से मतलब ये करते हैं आप लोग के लिए, आप लोग का अच्छा करियर हो और अच्छा प्लेसमेंट हो, अच्छा सर्विस मिले। बेस्ट ऑफ लक टू ऑल ऑफ यू। ठीक है, धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
थैंक यू।
Participants may start leaving the meeting. We'll send you the link